All right, hello everybody. I'm BMillzebub, and welcome to my channel. Those of you that remember my International Women's Day live stream, this is going to be something kind of like that. Where basically I do introductions of my panel, and then I shut the hell up and let them talk. So let's kick off with introductions. I'm actually going to start with the new people to the community first. So, Sergio, why don't you introduce yourself?
Hey there, can you guys hear me okay?
No.
Yeah.
Can't hear a word.
Cool.
Going to confuse the poor kid, Diane.
And I thought I was the sassy one.
I am a queer, gender non-conforming, albeit cisgendered male. So I choose to dress how I dress, no matter what I feel like that day, but I still identify as a male wearing whatever I wear. And I think that is an important thing to do this day and age. I live in Florida, and I don't really have a channel or anything like that, but I like to be an example of free thinking and free-spirited love this day and age. And that's me. Yeah.
Yay.
Cool.
Good to meet you. Max.
I am Max. I am a transgender male. I grew up in Rhode Island, but currently live in Ohio.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
I am a big nerd in general, and I just really stop caring what other people think and just be who I am, really. I play a lot of board games and video games in my spare time. That's me.
Woohoo!
Yay.
Yeah. I actually met Max. I met Max some time ago at anime convention in Boston, and pretty sure I warned you about Ohio. It's a place I've been trying to escape since I turned 18. I'm just saying.
I don't know, but they let you out of Ohio?
I tried to escape, but they caught me.
Okay.
It's better than Rhode Island. Rhode Island is more of a "we've got you down by your neck" type of state than Ohio is.
Climate might be a little better, but moving on. Sassy.
Hello everyone, I'm Sassy Atheist. I have my own YouTube channel, which is called Sassy Atheist. I identify as pansexual, which means I'm attracted to people regardless of their gender and sexual identity. And I don't know what else to say. I do that every time I'm put on the spot. I'm like,
It's okay. I was the same way. If you couldn't tell by my very awkward introduction.
Well, you could say some things that get Bubba thrown off the air, but or leave that to me. Either way, you know.
Oh yeah. No, never mind. No, sorry, never mind.
All right, Luciano, what you got?
Hi, friends. I am Luciano Joshua Gonzalez Vega. I run Luciano's Logic. I've been on more places and more folks have been on my channel these last couple of days than as usual, but I am a asexual person. I am bi/pan romantic. I'm whichever one it means people don't care about genders, because I can be romantically attracted to anyone. And I talk about, yeah, that's pan, probably. I never got to hear that much about the distinction because I am a queer ex-Christian, and I didn't really get to be told about a whole lot of the other labels. I found out about asexuality myself after doing extensive research, and it was not fun. So finding that was a journey. But I do videos talking about humanism, atheism, politics, and history.
Right on.
Yay! Are you talking to me?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, boy! Okay, hi, folks. I am Diana Clarion, the Lavender Lady, first in war, first in peace, and I wouldn't get in my path toward the end of a beer party either. I call myself a lesbian trans woman, although I guess I'm not really 100% lesbian. I did many moons ago actually fall for a guy and shook me up something horribly. It was like, oh my word, I could actually do that. But I have a channel of my own, the Lavender Lady, and I run a talk show there, and I'm thinking of getting back into standalone videos. And I guess I'm looking here. I guess I'm the grand dame of the group, which, yeah, that always happens. Oh well, I'm older than I look, guys. But
Love it.
And this, if you can see, is Sylvia. Say hi, Sylvia. Yay.
Aw.
Pissed off at me. Oh my word!
Camera
my word.
shy.
Oh, only when she wants to be. There are other times that she gets up there. Yeah, me. Look at me. Look at me. That sort of thing. I did not spend any time in Rhode Island. I did grow up in Ohio, so this is why I say I'm so sorry for those a few people who've spent time there. And right now I'm in Southwest Pennsylvania, Pittsburgh area. One of the few bastions of sanity here in the state. If you can call somebody, people who love the Steelers sane, that's really stretching it. But what are you going to do? So here we are, and
Humanity.
yeah, what was the one I saw today? The humanity. So you had this tie-dyed marine mammal, that sort of thing. It's sort of like the huge manatee, this that Claire used to do years ago. That was kind of fun, but oh well. I'm weird. Okay, you guys know that already.
Hey, I'm weird too. So
Yay! Weird is good.
Normal is a fallacy.
It's also
Yeah.
worth noting that one of the people in this chat's going to be on my channel on Sunday. So, yeah.
Oh boy!
Wink wonk.
I've got this is going to be interesting. I may not be able to see that, darn it, because I'm heading downtown this Sunday. I was originally going to go down for the Pride celebration, but I think I'd rather be spending some time with a dear, dear, dear friend of mine who recently found out that she's got 5 years left.
Oh dear.
Liver failure. So that'll be two of us dying women, leaning on each other's shoulders.
Oh, jeez.
What are you gonna do? But she's such a dear. I can't abandon her for anything. Anyway, we'll see how it goes.
And last but not least, we've got the Duke of all Bonanzas. How you doing, Duke?
I am doing well. I am the Duke of all Bonanzas. As all stories belong to a Nazi, all Bonanzas belong to the Duke. I am an asshole to people on the internet.
Well, we knew that.
I am a bisexual cisgendered man, and have been all of my life. I more or less just do Twitter, and that's it. Jump on some streams here and there, and make the internet just slightly more awkward than it was before I did it.
Are you doing any of the private streams lately, Sweetness? Or
I have not done a private hangout in a couple of weeks, but I also this next check I have is going to have 60 hours of overtime on it. So I pulled something like 10 back-to-back 12-hour shifts, had 2 days off, and pulled 5 more.
Holy shit.
Jesus.
So I've got 3 days off here, and I'm thinking of trying to connect with some people and just have some private conversations and fun times in the next couple of days.
What were you doing? 10 on, 10 off?
12s. I just do back-to-back 12. So I do basically 6:45 in the morning until 7:15 at night, and that accompanies like a 30-minute lunch break. And so I work between two hospitals. I've actually been considering. I wanted to talk to somebody. I'd like to sit down like over the last 18 months and kind of think of like some advice I can give to people who need health care and things like that. Like just things I could say. Here's some tips and pointers for people who don't really know like what to do.
Yeah.
But I got to put it together.
I think everyone, or at least almost everyone, knows that next Saturday in my town is my local Pride event, which I will be volunteering for about 3 hours or so. Because it lasts for that long. And I'll be like in charge. Me and another girl will be in charge of decorating the entire place.
Oh my!
So yeah, because everyone's they're into groups, and so they're in charge of certain things, and it's gonna be fun. And I'll make sure. And then I told them, I really made it very clear, is that once I'm done with my duties, I am going to make sure that everyone is having fun and that everyone is as comfortable and can show their pride.
Which city is this?
I'm from New Hampshire.
Oh, gotcha.
Oh my! Oh my! Okay, so you, I know someone from New Hampshire. We're getting there.
I always for some reason I always thought New Hampshire was like a fictional.
What? Are you kidding me? What? How do you that? What? What?
Well, everybody talks about it, but
when I came into this Pride panel, I did not expect this level of conspiracy theory.
Oh my God, Duke! You can look it up, and you.
Yes, I know.
That's the internet for, Duke. Get hip.
I just assumed, they were just talking about some. I thought it was like a Stephen King city or something.
Oh my God!
Maine is the fictional one, if that's the case.
Oh my God! Oh my! I can't.
Now I have a 12,000 ton crush on somebody originally from Vermont, but nobody knows about that.
Spill the tea, Lavender. Spill the tea.
You mean you don't know?
I think it's funny that there's some people here who
doesn't know.
I don't pay attention to YouTube. I know exactly what's being. I know exactly what's being talked about right now. It's beautiful.
It's such a shame what 18 years and 2,400 miles will do. It's only gonna. Oh, let me check my input here. Okay, we're doing pretty well. Because for whatever reason, I have automatic gain control on this thing that drives the input volume down whenever I get into my stuff here. Oh, well. And, please reconsider, Kate. Please reconsider. Anyway.
She's
probably out there listening. And it's like, I'm going to hit her.
Now you're supposed to pray to Jeebus, right?
Oh, for the love of St. Gulick.
I had to.
Anyway, there we go. I'm getting used to the kill switch on my microphone. We'll get there. This is the damn thing, though. I quit smoking 10 months ago, and I'm still clearing my lungs out.
Congratulations!
Yay!
Good job.
Yeah, I finally decided. Okay, Clarion, it's time. I had been smoking for 49 years.
Wow.
And
that's friggin' tough.
I don't know if it's something about me or what or if it's something about smoking a pipe, because that's what I was doing, it was bad enough, but it wasn't as bad as some of the stories I've heard from a lot of people about quitting. I've got a couple friends going through quitting. Atticus Blake is trying to quit. I'm trying to remember if it's UTV. It's also trying to quit.
Are we talking about tobacco specifically?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
No, oh man, I can't afford grass.
Right.
But no, I started when I was about 12. And yeah, that was a really good decision. I thought it was going to help me fit in. Yeah, right. But yeah, I guess one of the things when you finally when you get turned down, one of the reasons being that you're a smoker, it's like, oh, I don't know, maybe I should, and finally decided, okay, I'm just gonna fucking quit. And I haven't gone totally off the edge yet, so.
Well, this country doesn't make it easy. I mean, this country's kind of dependent on drugs.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, where in my town, I mean, it's just, it's very hard to meet someone that's not a smoker. I'm not even joking. I mean, everyone is some type of a tobacco user. They're either smoking actual cigarettes, or they're vaping, or they're using the chew tobacco. Everyone is using some sort of tobacco, and it's just crazy.
That's the one thing that drove me crazy. I could never stomach literally people who chewed tobacco. It turns my stomach just by looking at it. And I mean, were that to have happened with cigarettes all those years ago, I would have had a lot of a better time of it. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, actually, I have sort of a slight phobia when it comes to chewing tobacco. I mean, I just can't it just makes me sick to my stomach when I look at it or when I get near it. And if I know someone that's using it, I feel just, when after touching something after them, because I just can't. It's just, I can't deal with it.
So this is a really great conversation about queer stuff.
Yeah.
Chewing tobacco.
Actually, there's a funny comment. Mark Caesar said, where is it? I mean, he says, Jeepers. Yeah, this sounds like the olden days when a group of people were together getting stoned as anything. So much laughter.
Oh God, I remember getting. Yeah, it's been a while since I've been able to afford grass.
It's been a while since a lot of people have found YouTube to be a fun, wholesome, and even remotely emotionally healthy place. So
yeah.
This isn't bad,
I'll take it. Yeah.
Yeah.
But okay, let's just dive right into the disadvantages. Tell your stories, kids. Let's hear about the worst days that you've had simply by being queer, whatever brand. I know, Bubba. I'm taking over, but
somebody has to wrangle this mess into some semblance of order.
The interviewer in me. I don't know, man.
It's your job to keep order, and it's my job to cause chaos. So hopefully, between the two of us, it'll be interesting.
I was being interviewed.
I'm the angel, so.
Okay, I was being interviewed on the DRP channel a few weeks ago, and all of a sudden it's turning out where I'm interviewing David, and it's like, whoa!
It's okay. I'm just the quiet, awkward one, so I'm just gonna sit here in the background and be like, yeah, I'm here. I exist. This is my job. Hi, hello.
You're like a significantly higher voiced Bible Belt atheist.
I don't know how to feel about that. I feel like Bible Belt atheist has worked hard, and I don't know, I feel like I don't know how he would feel about this.
BBA's real, sweetie.
Oh God, he really is a sweetheart, but he does jump into streams and then just literally not speak for the better part of like 4 hours.
Yes. Yeah.
And then he talks, and then he shows a picture of himself, and I'm just like, that voice doesn't match that face, dude. You look like.
I guess if that means anything, my voice is still dropping, so who knows? Maybe I'll just sound exactly like him in a year or two.
Oh man.
But anyway,
BB-8 sounds like Darth Vader, but he looks like Peter Parker.
It's amazing.
Oh my god. But some of you, Duke, I think you know, Lavender. Some of you already know like the gist of my story from about my sexuality, and
I don't.
Little bit.
a little bit. Okay. I'm used to telling my story 1,000 times. I'm used to it. So for years, I've always, ever since I was little, I've always been, homosexual. There were always signs when I was little, like I would, sometimes I would feel a certain way towards like another girl that I saw. I didn't know what it meant. I don't know. I didn't know what it meant. And then I kind of brushed it off. And then as I got older, same thing happened. There was always signs. And so I just, no, I'm not that way. I'll just push it away. I'm not that way. I'm straight. And then when I started getting into the religion, that's another thing that stopped me from learning and accepting my sexuality. So so I had an impact, and then also the fear of being judged by others. So for years, one day, I was like, oh yeah, I know I feel this way. And then I would just stop, and then I would just say, no, I'm straight. No, I'm gay. Then I'm straight. And then for a while, that I was like, oh yes, I am definitely straight. I only am attracted to male. I mean, that I wasn't born this way to be attracted to females also. So I didn't accept my sexuality until I became an atheist, which was in January.
Fresh meat.
Just this year?
Oh boy.
Huh?
2019?
Yes.
Well,
what?
welcome
Congrats.
to the community.
Newbie. Yay.
I'm a newbie. Yes. Yeah. I mean, like I said before, when I was in my teens, well, when I was younger and I was still learning about myself and figuring things out, there was a time I thought that I was bisexual, and then afterwards I was like, no, maybe I'm only attracted to females, and no, okay, I'm only attracted to guys, and then it kept switching back and forth, and so, but when I got older and after I became an atheist, I realized that, hey, I'm just attracted to people regardless of who, like, I'm attracted to them as a person, not what they look like and what's underneath. And I could be attracted to a guy who might be feminine. I could be attracted to a female who might be more masculine. It doesn't matter. It's the person. So
I'm very close. Is it? Am I wrong, or is it Jimmy?
You're always wrong.
Yeah, I am always wrong. This is true. But is it Jimmy that's like mostly like I'm primarily attracted to women, but I will dabble in dick here and there. It's kind of how I always put it. Like I'm actually almost all of my very best friends throughout my entire life have always been women. I just get along with them better. And romantically, that's more my speed. But like, I will absolutely variety is the spice of life. You know what I mean?
Hell yeah.
Yeah, and also what I can't stand is that, I mean, a lot of people think that pansexual is the same as bisexual. No, it's not. I mean, it's bisexual is that you're attracted to two genders. I mean, bi means two. You're attracted to male and females, versus pansexual, you're attracted to anyone, however they identify.
No,
And
okay, Kate had told me that pansexuals were attracted to satyrs. No?
Yeah, I get it.
What?
That's an amazing joke. I love that.
I thought they were attracted to cookware. I don't know.
I'm the best pan. I'm the best pan.
I always hear the cookware joke, which gets on my nerves because it's like, no, I'm not attracted to your fucking cookware. You need to wash that shit. Like, really. But the whole satyr joke, I'm going to use that from now on because I absolutely adore that because I love mythology. So that was fantastic. Thank you for that.
You can thank Bionic Dance for that one.
Then I shall. Thank you, Bionic Dance. I appreciate that.
She is such a sweetie. Oh, God, would you please reconsider?
She's so funny, too. She's hilarious. Like, Bionic Dance is funny, and it's funny because, like,
she's amazing.
It's hard to tell when she's joking and when she's not joking. She's like, she'll just tell the funniest joke just in the most straight-faced manner.
Well, hey, if she was able to come up with a gem like that, I can always appreciate that type of humor.
And she is so easy to talk to. I mean, really and truly.
Who are we talking again? Who are we talking about again? I kind of tuned out. I'm sorry. I kind of tuned out. So I'm just going along with you guys are saying, oh, yeah. Who are we talking about?
There's a YouTuber, Bionic Dance. She does animations, among other things. She's been in YouTube. She's been in the YouTube atheist community, at the very least, as far as I know. As long as there's been a YouTube atheist, anything that can vaguely resemble community.
I don't think
I've been around 10, 12 years.
Like almost as long as YouTube's been around.
I don't think I've heard of her. I don't think I've heard of her.
Oh, man, you've got to look her up. She's got some really amazing stuff. She's a really amazing lady. I love her so dearly. Oh, my.
Kate's awesome.
Can we hear from our ace?
Our ace. Hi.
Yes.
Now we're gonna have to change. We're gonna have to change your name to Token.
Honestly, I'm also, as far as I know, the only Latino here, so I'm a double Token.
No.
Oh wait, no. Oh, that's good news.
Up and tell you that I'm a white Brazilian, but I am Brazilian. I was born in Brazil. But
I'm a white Puerto Rican, and I was raised in Central America. Hell yeah.
Beautiful.
I'm always super excited to see other Hispanic folks in this community. I'm gonna be real with y'all. The atheist community has not always been the dopest place for atheists. It's getting better. It's getting a lot better. But like when I first became an atheist, which was in 2014, it was a very not tight place. And that has changed a lot, and I'm very excited. There's like now YouTubers who do stuff entirely in Spanish and who have audiences who are atheists. There's also folks like Carlos Matza, who is one of my favorite people and is also an atheist. Unfortunately, most of his stuff doesn't talk about atheism. And there's Maya Morena, who is, as far as I know, a bisexual sex worker, who is also a YouTube atheist, and Honduran, which is where I was raised. So I'm super excited to see so many people from so many different communities stepping in and being featured. I like it.
Yay.
You know, what was I going to say? Move on. Let's move. I forgot what I was going to say.
Okay, I have a question.
All the time, so don't worry about it.
I have a question. For the people that are not, I don't know how the best way to say it, maybe not traditional. I can't think of the right way to say it, but have you guys ever encountered any kind of bigotry, even soft or hard, from the actual LGBTQ community?
Yep.
Yes.
Oh my word! Oh my word!
There's a
wait. How you mean bigot against other gay people or transgender people?
Against ace folks. I'll talk about asexuality.
Yes, please.
There's not a very big trans YouTuber who's not a member of the free thought community. So in case everyone here is gearing up that's not the person I'm talking about. There's a trans YouTuber who made a can I cuss in this channel?
I mean, I did.
Check
So
with
like,
I want
that's
to
already out
check
the
with
window.
Bob.
Well, he invited me here.
I'm gonna be nice. There is a YouTuber, a transsexual YouTuber, who made a very bad video talking about how asexuality is not queer. How if you are an asexual, you're not a member of the LGBT community, which is technically true. You're not a member of the LGBT community if you are asexual and heteroromantic, which is very specific. Most aces are not like that. I'm not like that. I am pan-romantic, so I'm still queer. But it's untrue that if you are an asexual person, you are not in the LGBTQ community. That's categorically and empirically fucking untrue. And the video was batshit insane, talking about how aces don't experience any discrimination. And I'm like, no, aces have a history of being sexually assaulted by allosexual people, including by other LGBT people in what's called corrective sexual assault.
Oh,
and
Lord. Oh, no.
jeez.
People don't know this history, but it's one of the ways that asexual people experience a unique level of discrimination. And I'm not saying that we're the most discriminated against. I'm saying that we face actual empirical documented discrimination.
That just really, that shocks me because, you assume that a lot of or all, people part of the LGBTQ plus community is accepting and accepts everyone else as part of it, but apparently not. Lies.
That's what really gets me.
That's just,
years ago.
When I was, go ahead. I'm sorry, Diana.
Oh, sure. Years ago, before I came out officially, my girlfriend at the time had a couple lesbian friends. They were a lesbian couple, and every now and then they would go off on how they hated trannies.
I can't stand hearing that word against transgender people. That's just so disrespectful.
It's not even supposed to refer to transgender people, to be honest.
No, it's supposed to refer to that thing in your car where you change gears.
Yeah.
No.
Transmission. You're training. That's funny. I like that. Diana. That was clever. Like I got to give you some mad props on that one.
You never heard that? You never heard that term referring to a part of an automobile?
No.
Tranny? No.
I have.
Oh, wow, I've known of that for years. Really? I
thought it was some kind of. I just thought it was like an insult to transgender people. I didn't know.
Well, it's
how they
insult toward us. Oh yeah, transies. It. That's a fun one.
Oh, it. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I've heard that one before.
That thing.
Yeah.
That's another one I've heard.
That thing. Oh my gosh.
I've actually heard that in medical work where we've had people come in and it's like, I don't know what to do with that thing out there, and it's like, you mean that nice young lady that's having such a bad time right now? You should treat her.
This is what gets me. Oh boy, are we getting started on a topic that really means something? With the trend now supported by the administration, whereby religious reasons you can deny medical care to a trans person, and
are you kidding?
No, I'm not kidding. Michigan is one state I can think of right offhand. And there are more in the wings, if I remember correctly. Not here in Pennsylvania yet that I know of.
It's going to take years to get rid of some of the shit that's coming down right now.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's not going to be over within my lifetime. I can tell you that.
It's so disconcerting because it's like we made so much progress, and in just a short amount of time, this burnt orange dickwad has freaking just ruined it.
Yeah, it seems like within 2 weeks, really. Well, of course, it had been fomenting long before that, and it was just empowered. But God, what we had been scratching and clawing our way ahead over the last, say, dozen years especially, And then you get the baby in chief.
The man baby. Yeah, it's a weird thing because like when I used to sing in an LGBTQ choir, and at the time I was in a committed heterosexual relationship, so as a bisexual man, but I'm functionally a heterosexual during that time period because I was in a monogamous relationship, and I think that they loved the idea of having a straight ally so much that's just how I got. Even after I corrected it, that's how I got introduced everywhere. Oh, this is our straight ally, Duke, and it's like, and I would go. I would always just look at him and go, yeah, straight-ish, straight-ish. And I noticed there's a kind of a trend. I don't know if it's across the board, but there's kind of a trend, at least for bisexuals, of like not being gay enough to be gay. You know what I mean?
Oh boy.
And it's like, no, dude, I got my ass kicked just like you when I was a kid. Like, trust you me. Like, I got treated poorly for being the kid in Deep Ellum, Dallas, in a black dress with fishnets on my arms. You know what I mean? And combat boots and face paint and all that stuff. I mean, I caught the pure brunt of that too. So I don't, I'm totally gay enough to be gay, especially considering in a world where most people who are not gay consider any body that touches the genitals of the same sex is more or less gay. You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I've also heard people say, oh, they're not gay enough or whatever. It kind of reminds me of what I hear a lot and I experience a lot. It has nothing to do with sexuality, but it's kind of related. But I hear that, oh, you're not black enough. That person's not black enough to.
Oh boy. Okay.
I've dealt with it many times. I still deal with it, and I'm like, what the heck? I mean, wait a minute. I'm black enough, or I'm not Indian enough, or I'm not. What enough does that mean? I mean, I may not be 100%, but I'm still part of that. I'm still half. I'm still part of that,
Well, I don't
culture.
know. Slap me if you want to. I don't know that any of us is 100% of anything. So where does everyone get off that you're not black enough, you're not white enough, or you're not Asian enough, or whatever? That's not going to work. Really, it's not. We're whatever we are.
Yeah.
But it's I forget what I was going to talk about. So, see, Sassy, you're not the only one.
So I just want that hearing Duke say that. I mean, it just kind of remind me of that situation where I experience a lot of it, and I see other people, and I see, you see it a lot in the media. If there's an actress that they picked, a biracial actress that they picked to play a black character, black person, they get so mad. It's like, oh, she's not black enough. She's not black enough. And actually, I think there's a couple of actresses that didn't take the role because they couldn't take all the comments and everyone's outrage just because of it.
Isn't Prince Harry's wife getting shit over that? Because isn't she biracial?
Yes, she is. Yes.
Yeah, it's an interesting conundrum because if you look at it from the right spectrum, right, if the likes of Matt Powell and Steven Anderson had their way, everybody in this chat's gay enough to get the guillotine. You know what I mean? So, like, there's not, like, at some point or another, there should be at least some level of recognition that everybody who's not straight, cis, is part of the LGBTQ community.
Right, but it's even hard to have that conversation. Like, I mean, just to bring up history for a second, when you look at
when
you look up like in the 70s and 80s, like there's the Mattachine Society, which is a total male-dominated gay group.
Whoa! Fill me in. What is that?
So these are what they would call back then homophile movements before you could even use the word homosexual in the US. There are they would start with magazines and with underground kind of papers for gay groups, back before you could even really use the word homosexual. So so there's organizations like the Mattachine Society is a really big one. There was the Daughters of Bilitis for women, because men and women could not mix together, as they could not coordinate effectively with what was important at the time. So what happens with groups who aren't really the kind of popular notion of what is just gay or queer or whatever, is you get pushed to the sidelines and your voice doesn't become as important as the people who are in power, essentially. So to the point where we are now, whereas like even in the LGBTQ plus community, we don't really, there still are people who are against bisexual people, for example.
Yes,
Say that's
definitely.
not real, and if you look at the history of it, it even goes back into the beginnings of our movements, where men and women couldn't really sit together in the same space and coordinate effectively for political action, because they would say, "Oh, you're not gay enough. You're just, you're just what." It is a big issue, and I believe it will constantly be an issue, because norms become norms because of the society we live in, and then
and because of acceptance of bad ideas and bad, they become norms. The bad norms become because people accept it and go along with it.
Well, what really pisses me off is the way, even in a marginalized supergroup, if you want to call it that, you're going to have the subgroups that splinter off and do the tribal thing.
Totally.
The
in-group, out-group thing.
If you'll excuse the expression, believe me, I'm not using this in any term of slur or anything, but the fags hate the dykes, who hate the transies, who hate the whatever else, and we really should be standing together, and we're not
now more than ever, because now the enemy is freaking. They're amassing. They are setting up their troops. They're getting ready to move in, dude. Like, more than ever, we should be focused less on petty infighting and bickering and more on doing everything we can to get the brutes out of power. It's funny because I remember I went to Nashville to watch my choir perform the year after I moved here to Florida, and we found this really quaint, really awesome little gay bar we went to. We were having a great time. The bartender was awesome, and I remember him saying, "You guys, everyone's welcome here. We're all inclusive." I said, "Oh, that's good." He goes, "Oh, yeah, we are all inclusive." He said, "A lot of the bars around here really don't allow they don't like trans people, and they don't like them to come into their bars. But we let anybody in." And I was like, "Huh, I didn't even know that was a thing."
Yeah,
I didn't even know that was a thing. So
there was an episode of the TV show For the People, which is I was worried about the TV show when they started talking about Latinx stuff and the justice system. They did a really good job, but they did an episode where they talked about queer history, and they were trying to figure out who murdered a trans woman. And they talked about the history of how some queer folks systematically discriminated against trans folks. And I'm just like, look at this popular ass TV show doing the right thing and intelligently and comprehensively covering this history. I am impressed.
Favorably even.
And it's kind of crazy how that's not the norm. Also,
it's really sad that it's not the norm,
right?
And it's not necessarily even in our community alone. I mean, years ago, I was a member of Mensa. If people don't know what that is, it's the so-called high IQ society.
Let's just say really fucking smart people.
A lot of us had problems where we were ostracized because we spoke in 50-cent words and that sort of thing. So instead of hanging together, instead of taking comfort from the presence of others like us, they form up into cliques. And it's like, why are you fighting everybody else? So it's not specific to us, but but it is annoying enough that I'd really like to punch some faces over it.
Yeah.
And I'm the pacifist around here. So when I talk about punching faces, there's a problem.
I'm totally a pacifist.
I'm studying peace and conflict studies as a graduate student, and I am not a pacifist.
I'm not a pacifist. That was a joke. Everybody knows that I'm the furthest thing in the world from being a pacifist.
There's a comment from trans gamer girl, say it loud, say it proud, LGBTQQIP2 SAA. What does everybody think about the crap that a lot of people pull about adding letters to the alphabet soup? There are a lot of people who don't like the addition of letters, and really, I'm all for it. I mean, it means allegedly more of us are getting together and standing together. But there are some people, even in the community, that say, why do we have to add this group? Why do we have to add this group? What is that?
Because they're marginalized, and we need to defend them just like we defend ourselves and everybody else.
Hey.
I am the asexual in the community, so I'm the part of the newest crew that's been widely accepted. I'm going to say that there's something similar with Latinos not liking the term Latinx, and I can understand a range of different points of view on this, but the thing is, it's about being inclusive, and we should fight to be inclusive. So
the only thing that bothers me about it is when people try to take letters from that acronym and make it into their own thing. Like, for example, the A obviously stands for, asexual, agender, what have you. It does not stand for ally. So please don't say that, otherwise you'll just make me mad.
Well, there you have the other thing. I mean, let's go branch out on all sorts of tangents here. This thing that's been going on very recently about the straight pride parades.
Oh!
Why the hell do you need a parade, guys? It's not like you are getting killed for being who you are.
No, they do have a parade. It's the Macy's Thanksgiving Day parade. Don't you know?
The Pride Parade is just everyday traffic. That's all that is.
I saw that tweet too. I'm a big fan.
Hold on. Where is it?
There was the one.
It's very reminiscent to me of when I've heard racist. Well, and they always say I'm not racist, and then they say but, and you're like, you're about to say something really racist, aren't you?
I actually,
it's like when they, it's like when they would say to me, why do we have to have black entertainment television? We don't have a white entertainment television. And I would say every other channel on the television. Every other channel on the television. Why do we have to have a Black History Month? Well, every other month is White History Month.
It was amazing. I mean, you guys, I'm assuming, well, no, I'm not assuming. I know you guys weren't around for this, but it was a really, really big thing when Nat King Cole had his 15-minute television program back in the 60s. And
I heard about that.
I think he broke through a barrier on that one. I think he may have been the first black person with a show of his or her own. And that's not that long ago. I was alive for it. Okay.
Yeah. I don't know if some of you guys seen it, but I had posted a picture, an image of on Twitter. And it says, gay pride was not born of a need to celebrate being gay, but our right to exist without persecution. So instead of wondering why there isn't a straight pride movement, be thankful you don't need one.
Ding, 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 ding. Yes, that's it.
I said something similar to a guy on Twitter. Some Christian guy wrote this article that was just like one of those love the sin or hate the sin articles. You know what I mean? Like one of those damn things. And he was talking about Pride Month, and I was like, attitudes like yours are the reason why we have Pride Month. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. And I don't know if this might sound weird, but I don't know how to put it into words. I mean, you guys know that I'm very vocal about, being part of the community. But I mean, at times I just feel like, why do I have to why do I have to say that? Oh yes, why do I have to put a label to myself? Why can't I just be me and be attracted to who I
Because
want?
we don't have a voice. Let me just. I mean, I'm sorry. Is
no, it's alright. It's alright.
I'm going to say that I think in an ideal world, it would be nice for us to not have to worry about labels. And I don't think that everyone should put on labels if they don't want to. I think that's a personal decision. But as the first Hispanic person in my family who was queer, and as one of the first atheists in my family, I appreciate being vocal. And I'm not gonna lie, I've taken L's from my family for being as vocal as I am. I'm sure that at the very least, a couple of other hyper minoritized folks in this chat and in the comments can understand the sort of social and familial implications of being the first atheistic queer person in your family, as well as coming from a background that is so hugely religious. Like there's going to be lots of L's there, but I take the L's so that way other folks don't have to. Because when I first came into the community, there weren't that many Hispanic atheists, and we were all looking for people who were going to be loud. So
yeah, I mean, for me, it's just that I'm not. It's not. I have nothing to do with being ashamed. I'm not ashamed whatsoever to, have the label of homosexual or pansexual or whatever. But it's just sometimes it just gets tiring. Like it would be nice to just be attracted to who I want without having to have a label.
Yeah,
and it gets tiring, and sometimes it's just, why do I have to explain myself? Why can't I just?
I noticed from Purple Rhymes with Orange over in the side chat. Really, really nice question as far as I'm concerned. I hope you guys like it. Can you ask the panel what they think about using GSRM and letting the LGBT plus label fade? Does everybody know what GSRM is?
No.
It's like gender
sexual romantic minority.
Yeah.
Oh.
Hey, Christy,
Also,
come
yeah,
in.
I was about to say we should say hi to Christy.
No, hey, Christy.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi, Christy.
Hi, honey. Sassy Duke from BMillzebub, Luciano, Max, and Sergio, and then of course my Diana.
Yay!
Yay! That was really hard, by the way.
Oh my.
Yeah.
No, but I haven't heard of this term at all.
Let's see.
I heard it only recently, and when I say recently, I mean within the last, say, 2 weeks. I don't.
Dear Mr. Atheist has been talking about it a lot.
Okay, now I haven't been tuning into Jimmy's channel as much as I really should, so that's probably what the deal is there. And Jimmy is a sweet, sweet character.
I messaged him, and I also tagged him a few times, and he won't get back to me.
Jimmy is very, very busy, and
that's what I keep hearing.
If you message him, it doesn't mean he didn't see it. I promise you.
I'm not trying to be that person where, if I message you have to get right back to me. I just
Yeah, the last time I heard him mention it, he said that. Sorry, my nose ring's tickling me. He said he gets sometimes on a slow day over 500 messages.
And that's gotta be nuts. It really.
Oh my god.
Thousands.
Mine's never being read. Mine's never gonna be read. Nope. Forget it.
Well, what you have to do is include alarm bells in it or something, where it goes and was inbox and goes whoop 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 or something like that.
The best advice I can give you to get a hold of Mr. Atheist, aka Jimmy, is to join his Discord Because if you join his Discord, he's on there, he talks, and he's involved in the conversation that's happening in there. It's the same as like the chat underneath his videos. Same people move over there pre-video.
Yeah, I used to be on Discord. Maybe I should get that.
And who wouldn't love
It's so hard.
I am on so many Discord servers that I
So
don't track it
hard.
out.
That's what she said.
I'll give you a
I
hint.
even
The
have a
limit
Discord.
for Discord servers is 100. You cannot go past 100, and I learned that the hard way.
No.
I
didn't know
even
that.
have a Discord server, and I haven't done shit with it, really.
I have an LG phone that's like 4 years old.
Okay, so wait a minute.
I just got a new phone. I just got a new phone today, which is a Samsung Galaxy S10e.
Nice.
So
Yeah.
You have a lesbian gay phone?
LG.
I'm really trying, and I'll never be as good as Kate, but I'm trying. I'm trying.
I just wanted to say that Christy, you are very pretty. You are very pretty.
Definitely.
No,
Oh
don't
my
you start. No. Lavender, wait, don't you start. Don't you start.
You know what we really need? I don't know if
My
you guys.
parents,
I don't know how many of you guys know. I'm on a live stream called Movie Night. Here in the Eastern Time Zone, it starts the midnight between Friday and Saturday. And you know where I'm headed with this, Christy.
Yes, I do.
What we need is a show just devoted to let's see, Christy, Karis Crane. Who's the third one? Faye, absolutely.
Yeah.
Those three that would kill the entire show right there.
Yeah,
Every guy in the audience would just be blah.
She's my favorite.
No, Faye is a big. She's been one of my, maybe the dearest friend I have in the community since I appeared.
She's on the short list of my very, very, very favorite people.
Mm-hmm. God, I love her so dearly. I really do. It's too bad she's straight, but.
I just like getting her to say awful things. And there's something so amazing about that. It's so lovely to listen to Faye in that voice be like, I want to peel you out of your skin.
What the heck was that?
Oh, there was a whole episode. Like, I really don't know. Like, if there were YouTube awards that were serious, there's been at least 3 segments on Lavender Ladies that should have gotten an award.
Lavender Lady is one of my favorites. Lavender Lady, Wonder Lady, all the ladies in the community
She's my
are
favorite.
really cool. I noticed that. Like, there's so many dope ass folks in our community. I appreciate it.
There is a clip on my channel, which was part of a larger thing that's called, let me see now, ASMR SJ Thomason
and Chuck Tingle.
Ew.
You've got to listen into this thing because we had a hell of a time. We loved every minute of it.
But I really
Pounded in the butt by that stream, and it doesn't matter.
Not pounded in the butt by my book, not pounded in the butt by my book, and it's okay. And it's okay.
But I really want to collaborate with you, Lavender Lady.
Oh man, okay, I get so many. This is the thing. Okay, just keep on me, will you? I get so many requests to collaborate, and they get lost, and I don't like it when that happens because I feel I'm letting people down.
Yeah, actually, I mean, I really like collaborating with a lot of people, and I'm sure you've seen some of you've seen it on Twitter. I just really like to make sure, like, to let everyone know that I'm open to, collaborating. I'm not a snob. I don't, I don't collaborate with big names.
You're sassy.
I'm not that famous, so.
Dude, you're
neither am I, really. You know
Totes.
what's really going to be fun is when I am recognized in public as the Lavender Lady. Now I am recognized in public. It happens more than I think it should. but nobody has nobody's recognized me. I've not heard, "Hey, Lavender Lady, I love your show." I haven't heard that. What I have heard is I'm in Target doing some shopping, for the move that I have to make. It's when I came here, and I hear over my shoulder, "I know you," and I'm looking. Okay, I don't remember being in bed with you. And it turns out that maybe about a month prior, I was at a counter protest against Westboro Baptist Church.
Awesome.
And here I'm standing there, I'm holding my sign, and I'm not at all being like I am here. Okay. I'm just standing there holding my sign, and they remembered this crazy tyke. And it's like, wow, I guess I must be one of those people you would really, really, really like to forget, but just can't. I mean, think about that one. How horrible that must be. I want to forget her, but I just can't do it.
That's an honor. I'd consider it an honor.
Dude, there are so many people in my life that feel that way about me that I'm over it now.
Well, so can I just piggyback on one of Sassy Atheist's points? Or one thing she was talking about was, why do we have to have a voice? I think this ties into it, of like, why do we have to be out there and expressing how we feel, and why do we have the onus, basically the obligation to tell people who we are? Just to give a quick testimonial, I recently applied for a job, and then as I was applying for the job, he told me, the employer basically told me I'd have to cut my hair and not wear earrings. And I really couldn't handle that request, because in my mind, he's telling me that I have to present myself as male. And I just couldn't accept that, because I thought they were an equal opportunity employer.
Yeah.
And then after talking to their human resources department, and after talking about what this process should look like, I was asking them, what should I do then if I don't identify with the binary? Like, you're an equal opportunity employer. You say that you accept trans people in your workplace, but then if I appear to an interview and someone tells me that I have to present as male, why? How are you an equal opportunity employer?
Right.
And the response I got was basically, during the interview, I should have specified that I was, that I didn't agree with the binary, basically. So even in professional situations, the obligation is on us to have that conversation with the public at large, with the companies at large, with people who are going to assume that we are, just gay or just this or just male or whatever, and the obligation does become on us, for whatever reason, that we have to stand up for our rights and stand up for our voices and for what we believe in.
Yeah, I remember years ago, well, not that many years ago, but it was a few years ago, before I got all my paperwork done and everything. I was applying for work, and it was before I'd had my name changed.
Oh, wow.
So I would go in for an interview, and I'd have the resume in their hand. They'd look at my rack. They'd look at the resume. They'd look at my rack. They'd look at the resume. And it's like, okay, I know I'm not getting anywhere with this interview here. And there is a friend of mine who is having a really, really hard time getting a job right now. He has a condition known as gynecomastia. And, when he goes for an interview, they look at his rack, and it's like, whoa, he's a heck of a time with all of that. And I don't understand what is so horrible about it. It's not going to melt the entire earth down.
No. I mean, I wasn't, I want to say, like I said before I talked about it, it might sound weird, or but I'm not saying that we shouldn't be vocal about it. I'm just for me personally, it just sometimes gets tiring, because it feels like I have to say it a lot, or I just I feel like I have to have a label 24/7. Like I just can't. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say.
This sort of burnout is very common, and I exist in a lot of social justice spaces. I've worked for the American Atheists and for the American Humanist Association, and both of those are, especially the American Humanist Association, and I'm saying this with love as a very social justice person myself, both of those are very much social justice oriented spaces. And one of the things I really liked about them is that they understood the sort of things that happen when people get the sort of burnout that you're talking about. And it's a very real thing if you are someone who is any sort of minority, and especially since all of us here are hyper, in some cases, or even quadruple minorities, it can be really tough for us.
Yeah. I mean, I'm trying to come more ideas, and I'm trying to think of other ways that I can be more of an advocate for the LGBTQ plus community. I guess I just my point is like, or I was trying to say is that it gets tiring having a label to others who aren't part of the community, because I so far some of the people that I met that were part of it, they didn't ask, oh, what part of the community, or are you part? They just talk to you, and that was really nice, and so I didn't feel like I had to announce it, or I had to make it known.
I approach the activism thing for anything the same way, almost across the board. Atheism, LGBTQ, whatever it is. If you feel like you need to be an open and vocal advocate, and this is a role that you want to play, and you feel like you've got the stamina to do it, that's awesome, and I support everybody who does. And if you're a person that says, you know what, this is just one part of my identity, and I really just don't feel like getting out there and getting into fights, I respect that too. Like you shouldn't feel obligated to be a part, like to be out there in the streets fighting all the time, just because of who you are. Like that's just not something I think is fair.
Maybe not out in the streets, but my 2 cents is cis white males who are gay have no excuse to not be out about their sexual orientation, because as far as I'm concerned, cis white males only have money to lose if they don't come out as gay. So I'm sorry, but I don't know.
Well, in some cases, that is significant. I mean, if you're not making that much money and you're just getting by, if you'll excuse the expression, you come out and you're ostracized for that. That could be a problem. It was something I was just about to say, with regard to us transies. I'm lucky. I'm really lucky, and I will admit this, and I will state this. I can get out there and not be quiet about what I am, because I've essentially got nothing to lose. So, okay, I can get out there. Here is what a trans person looks like. Here's what a trans person sounds like. Get to know me. Everything's fine. The people I really want to advocate for in this manner are the people who have everything to lose. And I know a few people who are flying stealth. And if they are found out, oh my word, everything is just gone for them. And these are the people I want to support by being out there. And maybe someday, if everyone is lucky and stuff, maybe they would not have to fly stealth anymore.
I am not going to say his name because to privacy. But he was one of the volunteers that I met, and he isn't transgender, but he's gay, and he actually shared his story. And when I met him, and he was talking about it, and he showed me his post, and I almost cried, because it was very sad, because he almost killed himself. He in his story, luckily the gun didn't go off, like it got stuck, the trigger, because he pulled the trigger.
Okay,
And
now when you say luckily, that can be taken either way, but we'll get back to that.
hold on. What would you say?
I mean, when you speak of luckily,
Yeah.
The weapon did not discharge. I don't know. Some of us would think that lucky. It's like, okay, I just escaped the what's the word I'm looking for? Situation. And then others would be saying, God damn it, I didn't die, and I really, 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 really wanted to.
Well,
hi, Jen.
I was trying, but
okay, everybody, take a quick stop here and welcome our new person here, Jen Morgan. We're getting overrun with trans women. Hi, Jen, how you doing?
I'm all right. How are you?
Oh, little bit this, little bit that. Good for me, good for you. What am I talking about? I don't know.
And that's why I love Diana.
You don't know what I'm like in private, sweetness. This is all an act.
Well, your nails look amazing, by the way. I didn't want to interrupt the conversation, but your nails look awesome.
Danke, sure. And everybody's been commenting on the nails here. It's been a while since I've done anything with the nails, and I love wearing nail polish. I really do. But for weeks, months, I just never got around to it. But I guess I should stay with this.
Yes. I like it.
I like the reds, but this one is, for anybody out there who knows about Sally Hansen.
Yes.
It's called Wine Not.
Yeah, it's very pretty.
And so after how many years, I'm finally settling into a color scheme here. And you know what's going to happen, of course. When I decide that I really like this, I'm going to quit making it. It happens every time.
Welcome to the beauty world. Exactly. Exactly. A lot of women buy. Well, of course, many of us don't have the luxury of doing this, but they go in and I've worked in retail. They'll buy their favorite pair of denim jeans. They'll buy 6 or 7 pairs of the identical ones because they'll never, And I'm thinking, you're spending like $900 on 7 pairs of jeans and a couple tops, and they're all the same.
This is why I'm glad I know how to make my own makeup and nail polish and stuff of that nature, because then it's just like, I'll never run out of whatever I want or whatever my friends want. Mm-hmm.
This is the amazing thing. I've always wanted to learn how to make my own clothing, such that I would never run out of the stuff. Even when I was trying to do the boy thing, many moons ago, with dress slacks that I would wear to work, with the pockets that the opening run parallel to the leg, those would get pulled open and look like shit. What I really liked were the pockets with the opening parallel to the waistband. And those were very difficult to find. Yeah. So it's a matter of, I wish I knew how to do my own clothing stuff. And, this is when I was, in my early 20s, and that's longer ago than I care to talk about.
Well.
Long time ago. What is the one? Many moons ago. The little Glenn Miller song there.
Sing it, girl.
And that's, dude, that's something you mentioned about singing in the queer choir. Sometimes I think about doing that. And the only thing is that I have a hard time doing the singing thing. I really do. And this is one of the things about being a transie. I am a trained bass baritone.
Right.
And when you hear coming from someone with a rack the size of a city bus, it doesn't go together. All right?
I don't know, man. It seems exactly like my kind of kink.
I'm sold. Where do I sign up?
And by the way, Christy, I have to say, you love my nails, I love yours. You can actually get away with wearing the gold. I've tried wearing the
It's
gold.
not though. It changes colors. It's
really?
Ow, Stacey, are you in here? Yeah. He will not stop biting me. No, but I can't play. I understand. She's like, but he wants to play.
So what? You've got?
I understand.
What, an iridescent sort of thing, like mother of pearl?
It's a pink, just plain pink, and then my daughter she does my nails, and it's these little tiny containers. You unscrew the lid, and they're full of, for a lack of a better descriptive word, glitter, but it's powder. And these little things have a name, and I, as am a cosmetologist, I should know the name of these, but I don't. When you buy like Maybelline eyeshadow, it's the little plastic thing with the sponge on the end. I don't know why I can't think of the name of them.
Oh, it looks like a Q-tip, although it's just a less longer. Yeah.
Yeah. Most people who do, you're so loud. Beanie, get out of here.
Is somebody killing a puppy?
Right.
You horrible person.
Most people that do makeup just throw those away because they're not good at applying. Well, this particular glittery powder comes with these, and once the nail polish is on, and it's for gel, before you completely set the gel underneath the light, they're tacky and sticky. Yeah. And you rub this on, and you can do a light, a really, really light, and it's almost like a pearl. And then the second one up is chrome, this one. And here it looks gold outside. They look pink and gold and silver. In some lights, they look blue and green. It's really, really cool.
Hey, because a couple Christmases ago, I tried gold, and it just somehow doesn't work with me. It's pretty, but it just doesn't work with me.
Yeah. I can see you doing like a platinum.
Well, I have a silver or aluminum or whatever color you want to call them. I haven't tried it yet, so I got to see what happens with that baby.
Yeah, this is called chrome, but it doesn't look like chrome. They lie.
Oh my! Oh my! Oh my! Oh my!
Okay, I have a question.
Oh boy, I have all the answers.
Okay. Who watched the Piers Morgan Trump interview?
I did not.
No, I didn't.
I saw a couple clips of it.
Is this something I need to watch?
Yeah. Yeah.
Particularly his lying about transgender folks again.
Yes, that's where I was going.
Why son of a bitch?
Because he says that he loves the LGBT community and he supports them, that he is a big fan of them, and everybody who knows him knows this. He said this stuff many times. So when asked about that, and then followed with the question, why a transgender ban if you love and support the demographic, but you ban them from something, kind of negates the love and support. And
doesn't it
like Piers Morgan. Piers Morgan is a douche nozzle, and he is a horrible journalist. He's not. But I was impressed that he asked harder questions than all of the press here in this country does. And he did ask him why the ban, and his douchebag answer was because trans community does too many drugs and it's too expensive.
What?
No, that's not fair. That's not exactly what he said. He said that because they require the taking of drugs, and taking is not allowed in the military, which is not true. They can take prescription drugs all the time.
Yeah.
Well, I was going to say, aren't there more than one diabetic in the
Well, so immediately websites everywhere started pulling out data of how many military service people take prescription drugs. Like nearly, 70-80% at one given time is on a prescription drug.
Not to mention alcohol's a drug. I really
but they're talking about medical only, and that it would be way too expensive to keep the 0.02% trans people that are in the military in.
The military spends more on prescription Viagra than they do all the transgender people in the forces.
Wow. Yeah, isn't that amazing? So Viagra is great, but we can't have
boners are important.
I mean, come on.
Boners
guys.
are obviously more important than anything else.
Obviously.
What was it like? Who was it that said that if men could get pregnant, abortion would be a sacrament?
A few people have said that. I've seen that, and
it would be once a month, like dedicated day off from work. Are you kidding me?
Wait a minute, Sassy. I see what you put in the side chat. I see your. What apology is this? Remind me.
Sergio, you should really be in the live chat at the same time.
Really and truly, Sassy. Which apology is this?
It was about how I should have used a better word to describe the situation that I was talking about. My friend about the gun.
Oh! No, I didn't see that, but I know that you meant no harm. Okay, so that's.
I thought you did just fine.
Yeah,
I should have used a better word to describe it. and not lucky, but I just.
No, I get it. I really do. It's
I think lucky's a fine word. I think I read somewhere, and this could be wrong, but I've read in several places actually that often when people throw themselves from high places in attempt to killing themselves, like halfway down, they'll realize that all the things they wanted to kill themselves were really inconsequential, and that they had made a huge mistake. That's something I've heard is reported regularly. So
now the only reason I thought of that was there have been a couple of times where I was really, 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 really serious about suicide, and had somebody, stepped in and made it difficult or something like that. It would have been, "What are you doing? I want to die." But then, as it turns out, it got to a point where it wasn't quite as bad. Still horrible, but not quite as bad. So it's okay. Maybe I can hang around for a little bit. So yeah, I mean, some people are in a situation that's so fucking bad.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sure everybody already knows about me. I'm looking forward. In a way, I'm looking forward to dying. I have been diagnosed with stage 4 renal failure. And one of the things that I think about is I'm going to get to miss a whole bunch of shit. If I do die of this thing fairly soon, I'm going to miss the final descent of the U.S. into fascism. I'm going to miss the coasts underwater, the food wars, all this happy stuff. And it's kind of nice, really, when I think about it.
Christy, people our age are not kidding about that.
Yeah.
The Earth is going to be absolute fucking hell in about 20 to 30 years.
Oh,
and most of us are going to be dead.
I'm
it's
with
you guys
you.
that are going to have to put up with it.
And this is what really makes me sad, is that you guys are going to have to put up with this shit. Mm-hmm. You can give me all the shit you want, where I'm going to be the lucky one who, one way or another, is going to get to die before it all gets really, really bad. Because, Jen and I are in the same range. We're what? I think you're 3 years older than I am.
Thanks.
Thanks.
So, in other words, it's like a day and a half, really. It's like I keep telling everybody, I'm younger than I'm older than I look. But
I bet you're younger than Duke. I'm kidding.
What was that?
I said that I bet you are younger than Duke.
Yes, probably so. I'm older than the dirt that I sleep in.
Well,
that is a stolen joke. I'm gonna have to put it out there. I stole that from a comedy roast. One of the funniest things I ever heard.
It's not original. That doesn't count.
For the 3 people who do not know already, I will be celebrating the 62nd anniversary of my birth and the 50th anniversary of the first manned lunar landing simultaneously.
Awesome. Wow.
So I was born July 20th, 1957.
Wait. Now, we all know that didn't actually happen.
Oh, right. Absolutely.
The Earth is entirely flat.
So, come over to my channel on the 20th of July because I'm going to be toasting with scotch and crying my eyes out that, everything stagnated the way it did. But that's another story. Where the hell was I going with this? I don't know.
Oh, wait a second. Why is Bubba in the chat, but he's not actually talking to us? What's going on
His
here?
idea was to
Hold
get
on.
us. No, his idea is he's stated this was to get us started and then step out and let us go wherever we go.
I know. I'm just giving him shit.
Oh, of course. Yeah.
He asked if I was a vampire, and yes, I am actually.
Are you a vampire? Oh, yay!
Oh, there's something I forgot to mention earlier when I was talking about the Pride event coming up. There's gonna be drag queens at the event.
Oh, right.
I know. No, this is my first time of meeting drag queens, so it's gonna be epic.
Oh man,
you are precious, by the way. Like so innocent and precious.
The nephew of a friend of mine used to do drag. He used to do drag shows. Hasn't done it in a long time. But if you ever want to know about drag history, you just go to David and let him talk your ear off. He was actually was it last year or the year before? It was actually in the Pride Parade here in Pittsburgh. Because currently one of the things he's doing is baton twirling as a display sort of thing. And, one of the few guys I've ever heard of that does that. But, because he does strongly identify as a man, quite gay, and very, very sweet. I love him so dearly. Wait a minute. What's going on over here? We have, my high school buddy is a drag queen, says Wonder Lady. In fact, he borrowed my prom dress and never gave it back.
I've met quite a few drag queens, but my favorite I've ever met goes by the name Barbara Burning Bush in Charlotte, North Carolina. She's absolutely hilarious, and I met her at one of our choir functions. And I was wearing an "I'll Go With You" pin, which was a movement where they passed House Bill 2, like wearing the pin and the lanyard and all that stuff was signified to any trans person that needed to use the bathroom that we would escort them and keep people from harassing them if they wanted to go.
Oh, wow.
She saw it, and she walks up to me and she puts her arm around my shoulder and she says, "Well, now I know who to go to if I need to go squat." And here's the funny thing about it is she was 6'8". Her biceps were bigger than my legs. I was like, you don't need me to escort you anywhere. You're gonna be just fine. I might need you to escort me to the bathroom later.
I have a funny drag story. It was actually involving my brother. So he's older than me, and it happened a long time ago. My sister had dared him to dress in drag, just for drag, and for Halloween. So he did. He wore my sister's Halloween dress, put on makeup, and he naturally had long hair. He still has longer hair, and he stuffed his with cardboard, so his chest would be so big, and he had to work. He had to go into work that day. You guys, he went to work as drag. So when he was turned around, apparently there was some guy that looked, was looking from the back view, and thought it was a woman, and he was just making catcalls, and then my brother turns around and says, do you need help with anything, sir? Right. and the guy's just looking around and then shakes his head at my brother and just stormed. And then my brother went to the restaurant, not in the town anymore. So he went and all the workers, all the Chinese workers, they came out and said picture, 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 and so and then yeah, so he's like, okay, take a picture, and then my brother looks down and looks up, they're all gone. It was like ninjas. They came out of nowhere, they all disappeared.
You know, this kind of reminds me, and
Sorry.
okay, a lot of stuff is reminding me of a lot of stuff, but I learned something when I did finally come out. It took me a long time to come out, and there are reasons for that, but I learned a lot about how the if you want to call it other half has to live. I mean, I was doing the boy thing for half a century, or trying to do the boy thing and failing miserably at it. Once I transitioned, it's amazing the thoughts that go through my head, how careful I have to be. I'm listening very closely for footsteps behind me. I'm looking to the sides to see if there's anybody following me. You get a unique perspective on what's going on. And one of the funny things that actually happened to me, which was a whole lot of fun, a couple Christmases ago, I was walking to the local, or a couple winters ago, I was walking to the local Squall Mart, and a pickup truck pulls up, and the guy behind the steering wheel is like this. I'm looking at him, and he starts to roll the window down. And I say, okay, I know what he's after. I go over to the open window, and I really shouldn't have been doing this, but I did it anyway.
Oh no!
I said, "What do you want?" Window.
Oh.
Boom! Right up, and he takes the hell off.
You did it! Oh my god!
I certainly did.
Oh no!
But the whole damn thing is, you can get yourself into a lot of trouble if you're really not careful. I've had people offer me rides with my, I'm loaded down with groceries and I'm walking home.
Yeah.
Guys have offered me rides, and no, I'm refusing the ride because I can't trust the person behind the wheel.
Yep.
I don't know what they're going to do to me.
Yeah.
And this is, oh God, it's amazing the schooling you get simply by living the life.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
All right, guys. I apologize, but I got another stream, so I am going to head on out. I'm going to be streaming with Mrs. Snarky and a couple of other really neat folks.
Oh, Snarky's a big sweetie.
In like 30-ish minutes, and I gotta go get some dinner and stuff before the stream. So I'm gonna peace on out. But it was nice making some new friends.
Bye. I'll see
Nice
you.
to see you, Luciano.
I'll see you on Sunday.
Yeah, I'll be. Sassy and I are gonna be talking about a really neat topic on Sunday. So if folks want to come on over, that'd be cool. I do streams often. I stream on Saturdays to talk about asexuality, 4:30 to 5:30 p.m. EST, and I'll see y'all around. Bye.
I'll be talking to you soon, Luciano, so you be good and have fun.
Yeah.
And I know they're mutually exclusive. Do the best you can, okay? Oh my, Luciano, such a big sweetie. He really is.
Can I just say, as a gender non-conforming...
Come on, what do you want to say?
Well, it's just, as a cisgender male, I still decide to wear, clothes that men don't usually wear just because I want to. And I get certain looks or get treated a certain way, even in the street. The other day, I was just walking into the gas station to buy myself a beer, and some guy, tried to call me out outside of his truck, hey, you want to go, perform? I was just wearing some shorts, and he started trying to say something to me, or, I was at the pool the other day, my apartment complex. I was just at the pool wearing these, this, imagine, boxer briefs, but you swim in them, they're,
okay, fine.
They're not Speedos, they're just kind of
Diana.
Did they come about halfway down the thigh? Yes, dear.
Think of the beach movies from the 50s. men's shorts.
Yeah, they come maybe halfway down the thigh.
Adorable.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like right here.
I was wearing some of those, and people started talking about me at the apartment complex at the pool, thinking I don't speak Spanish, and they were talking about me. Like,
oh, that trick! Oh, that's I can't. Oh, man.
I love situations like that, though.
Look at this like crazy person. Look at him. He just wants to show off his dick. Like, I'm gonna talk to the apartment people. I would never let my son come. You know, this is a disgrace to like they were just saying all this kind of stuff, and you know, as non-conforming people, it's just yeah.
Here's the question. Okay, they're talking, and they don't think you speak Spanish, and they're talking. Did you turn to them and in Spanish say, "And there's a problem with this"?
I did not, because in that space, I didn't feel like I had, because they were a whole family together, you know, they were a whole unit, and me by myself, I just sat there reading my book.
Okay. Because
when it got to a certain point, I couldn't take it anymore. I literally just got up off my chair, and I just said out loud, "Nadie merece esa insensatez." Like, nobody deserves this senselessness, this insensitivity, and I just went into the water, swimming, and kept doing my thing. I did not want to give them the attention that they were seeking. I did not want to like at that point there wasn't a fight to be had, because they were gonna win no matter what, in my opinion.
Oh yeah, I mean, even if they had to do it the hard way, yeah.
You could have just said to them in Spanish, you should be speaking English. This is America.
Because I love the stories about people complaining about this person or that person or whatever, and there's a person in the line or whatever who speaks the language in question, and you know they just listen to all this going on and then say some key phrase like, "You have a problem with this" or something in their first language, and how many of them get so horribly humiliated. Now,
I saw that happen. I saw that happen here in a Publix where I live. There was a very attractive lady. She was Caucasian, blonde hair, blue eyes, beautiful lady. And some guys were walking along behind her speaking in Spanish. And I don't know what they were saying, but she turned around to them and like yelled at them in Spanish. And they like turned around and ran the other direction. It was like, holy crap.
Well, with what happened at the pool, it was a woman, her boyfriend or husband, and their 5, 6, 7, 8-month-old baby, and another couple. And the couple's ages were definitely over 30. I'd say 35 to 45. And on top of that, it was the women who were saying this nasty stuff about Sergio and egging on the women.
Yeah, it's amazing how often that does happen. The women can be pretty catty. Right?
Yes.
Which is not fun.
When I've experienced racism, there's not many foreign-speaking people in my hometown, so mostly, Americans. And so if someone says a racist word to me, and I can hear it. They say it right out loud, right to my face. So
yeah, it's really interesting. I'm lucky again that I have not got very much of that. I've got a little bit of it here and there. Even back when I was trying to do the boy thing, I had the long hair, which was in a ponytail halfway down my back, and coming home from school once or twice. I would hear somebody say, loudly, "Only in America," looking right at me, and it's like, what? What's the problem? But then, you go and come out the way I did, and you'll hear the occasional, "You a man," or stuff like that. And it's you just smile. Oh, really? But God,
I had a guy call me out for wearing a pink shirt in Valdosta once in the Books A Million parking lot.
Excuse me, Aaron Ra has worn a pink shirt, and he looks like a Klingon general. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh man.
I was walking out of Books. I just been on a date, so I was in some khakis and loafers and a button-down pink shirt, and I was walking out of the Books A Million to go to my truck, and some fat redneck guy in Realtree just looked at me and said, "You know what kind of a man wears a shirt like that?" To which I just immediately retorted, the kind that'll beat your ass in the Books A Million parking lot.
Actually, I had bought a shirt that says "Love is love," and I wore it the other day, and I swear, people were staring at my shirt, like staring at me, and I'm like, I was very uncomfortable because I was at a restaurant and I was like, are they seriously, like, do they have a problem with my shirt? Like,
it's amazing what people have a problem with. It really is.
I mean,
and
then when
sucks.
I think I was I think I was like a young teenager. I think I was younger, a lot younger, and it just I remember playing those machines, the claw machines that you get, the animals, and mind my own business. And I think I had my hair out. It was really short, so it wasn't long enough to put it in the pug or ponytail. So it was, I have frizzy curly hair when it's out, and so it kind of looked like a afro. And these two white guys came out of the store and said, "Oh, look at that," and then they used the N-word, like right out.
What the hell?
What the fuck?
Yes, I'm not kidding. I'm like a young teenager, or I think it was a young teenager or a kid, and I was like, I just turned around and like, did they just say that to me?
They did.
And yeah, and they were laughing, like, "Oh, look at that!" Yeah, and they
said that at you.
Yeah, they said it twice. They said it like twice, and I'm just like, "Oh my!"
Wow.
You know what really gets me? Now that you're talking about that, is okay. When I don't know how many of you know, but when I speak of the slimy bastards, I'm speaking of the couple that went to the baby store, looked at the rack, pointed at me, and said, "I want that one." I was an adopted child. But okay, growing up with those two as so-called parents, they would be the ones complaining about the N-words and the whole thing like this. And then my cousin's niece had 4 kids by 5 different guys. My cousin ended up taking...
Wait a second. Hold it. Wait. That's fuzzy math, man. That's some fuzzy math.
Go. My cousin ended up taking the kids in because mom wasn't taking care of them that whole bit. And especially he, who was the biggest fucking Nazi you'd ever seen in your fucking life, loved these kids. Like they were surrogate grandkids to him. Now, the punchline, they're biracial. So he loves these biracial kids, but he's still talking about the N-words. And it is great the way these people can partition, the way they can compartmentalize, if you will.
In group, out group.
Mm-hmm. We had to evict some young men. This is only 4 years ago. We had to evict a couple of young men out of an apartment complex because they were standing at their window making monkey noises at their black neighbor.
Wow.
Yikes.
I mean, just overt. There's a rap group called the Epic Beardmen that I absolutely love, and they have this great thing that they say it's just make racists afraid again.
All right.
Yeah.
I heard that phrase.
Yes, I like it.
Dude, they're awesome. If you get a chance, Sage Francis and B. Nolan. Sage Francis is one of the best. He's one of the best spoken word poets that I've ever come across. He won so many of those like Deaf Poetry Slams. What's that?
Huh? What?
I'm sorry. Somebody asked something, I thought. But yeah, the band he's in now is called Epic Beardmen, and it's freaking awesome.
Epic
They are awesome.
Beard Men?
Epic Beardmen.
Okay, I'm going to look this up. I'm going to admit that. Okay, here we are. I don't know very much about rap groups and stuff because rap is not one of my favorite genres. I will admit that.
Sage Francis wrote one of my favorite lines of all time in one of his songs on the record, Copper Gone. He says, "Sometimes it seems like life is too long, but not forever enough."
Okay, then. Okay.
One day you can't give it away. Was it one day you can't give it away? The next you practically beg for the stuff. It's just, he's freaking deep.
Wait,
it reminds me of lyrics from a David Bowie song where essentially it goes, "It's only forever, not long at all."
Yeah.
Reminds me of most college students in their early 20s becoming aware of life.
I'm looking at the site epicbeardmen.com, and I see a mention about Adult Swim. Have they been affiliated in one way or another with Adult Swim?
Love Adult Swim.
Say again, Sweetness?
Love Adult Swim.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, the only reason I don't watch Adult Swim right now is I haven't owned a television in 10 years.
But you can get DVD sets of your favorite and just stay away from TV. Like we have, if you're looking for me, you gotta check under the sea. Cause that's so funny.
I have how many seasons did that have? I have 4 seasons. Is that the entirety of it?
No, I think there's 7 or 8.
Okay, because that's something for which I would actually spring to buy if I could find the DVDs. Because I made the recordings myself and they're shitty DVDs.
Right. Well, C-Lab, I would even watch it shitty. Like, it's that good.
Yeah, good. What was the one with what they would want were they to become robots? And you had the captain or whatever the hell his name was, that he would want robot nipples. It was going on and on and on throughout the entire episode about having robot nipples.
What the?
Which show is this?
C-Lab.
It's called C-Lab 2021. It's a parody of something that existed back in the 60s called, what was it, C-Lab 2000 or something? It was done by Hanna-Barbera.
Yes, and it's drawn like that. It looks like you're watching a Hanna-Barbera cartoon, except for you're definitely not.
Because Adult Swim did that with a lot of this stuff. They did that with C-Lab. They did that with Space Ghost.
Space Ghost Coast to Coast.
Yes.
Best ever talk show. I thought that was.
Hi, my name is Brack.
I was a senior in high school when that came out, so it was.
God, made me feel old.
So, but it was like that's where we were. We were taking like our parents' cartoons, smoking a whole lot of weed, and then making juice.
It's almost too bad.
It looks like it.
It's almost too bad. I say that I haven't owned a television in 10 years. Well, I wouldn't know where I would put one. What you're seeing here on camera is my living space. I live in a 1-bedroom apartment, but I don't live in the bedroom simply because it's my library, and there are 840 books back there. So try sitting. I'm lucky to be able to set up my dresser back there and have my clothes storage. I wouldn't know what I would do if I couldn't do that.
Oh, you have a dresser?
Believe it or not, I bought a dresser from Target.
You're rich.
I applaud your library.
Yay! And no, I paid, I think it was about $130 for this dresser from Target.
Gotta try Craigslist sometime.
Okay, yeah.
Don't try Craigslist by yourself, please.
One of the problems I have with stuff like that, they have to bring the stuff to me.
Yeah.
Because in addition to not having things like a television, I do not have things like a motor vehicle. So I'm not going to put things on my back and carry them home. And I don't have a motor vehicle simply because I can't afford one. Now I know where I do not have the consumer debt balance that I have. Maybe I could afford the insurance and the gas and the maintenance and all that shit. But when you have the income that I have, you end up putting a lot of necessities on a credit card, like $500 for glasses and shit like that. I'm still paying for that.
Medicare for all. Medicare for all.
They said
I got my last set of glasses from Zinni, $80.
Yeah.
And they delivered them to me.
Zinni, wait a minute, what is this?
Zinni Optical online.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I've heard about.
There's a few of them. There's one, the Robbie Parker or Ronnie, whatever. I'll look it up for you. It's you buy any pair for $99, you get your second pair free, and every time you go through them, someone in need gets a pair of glasses for $99. Yeah.
I had my eye doctor look at the glasses after I got them, and she said they were excellent. That she had no problem with them whatsoever.
Now, my dear, did I mention dear friend, was talking to me about an online glasses thing, which was super cheap. The problem was you had to do all the fitting yourself. Did you have to do that, Jen, when you did that?
You have to get your retina, your pupil to pupil measurement.
Yeah,
that's all. And if you go to the people who make your glasses, they have it written down in your record, and you just tell them that you want your PID.
Okay, so maybe this is what I'll have to do, because if I live long enough, which is not assured, I suppose I'm going to need another set of glasses, because I got 2 pairs of glasses back in 2017. I figured that if I was going to view the total solar eclipse, I wanted to be able to see the damn thing. And from Target Optical, I got the 2 pairs because I'm that age where, okay, I would be wearing bifocals if I could.
Ow!
Who, what, where, when? Huh? What?
Oh, ow!
Are you okay?
Ow!
Did you just get
I dropped the Bible.
I'm not laughing at you.
Oh, for the love!
Let it fall.
Yes, this is a huge. This is one of the many Bibles that I still have.
Parallel Bible. What is that all about?
All it does is hurt you.
I fell on my foot.
Diana, the parallel Bible says that there's 2 flat earths, one above each other.
Oh, is that it?
No, this actually is a book. It's comparing 4 popular translations in parallel columns.
Okay.
Double bullshit, in other words.
What I wondered is if it's the stuff that Bart Ehrman talks about, which is reading, for example, the synoptic gospels anyway, in parallel. You read the story in Mark, and then you read the story in Matthew, and then you read the story in Luke.
It's like
everyone check the internal chat.
Oh no! Oh no!
I have no idea what I just said. Wait a minute.
I don't know how. Sorry.
Oh no! You horrible person!
It's the biggest one.
I'm going to be jumping back in 5 minutes to start closing down the live stream. Would anyone be interested in sticking around for an after party? Bubba, you know me. You don't have to ask.
But yeah, it's composed of the King James Version, the Modern Language Bible, the Living Bible, and the Revised Standard Version.
Oh, that sounds like fun.
It compares. Each page is side by side comparison of. Hold on, I can hopefully show you. See,
wow.
it compare it. And that's what I'm going to be doing in the future on my channel. Is I'm actually going to be I'm going to be taking a lot of time to go through the whole Bible and compare verse by verse how different they are from each other, and I'm gonna just talk about it, and yeah.
Wait a minute, Christy, what are you doing with the keyboard? Or is it with the cat that you're
What are you doing?
I'm losing is what's happening.
I'll tell you, when the little one gets crazy like that, yeah, it's where is the little one? I don't see her. I'll be, with the fingers and the elbows like this sort of thing, trying to type around the cat.
So you know what's going on.
Pet me, pet me, pet me, pet me, pet me. He's like, I'm trying to type.
I have to actually leave.
Oh
no.
Well, I'll tell you what, sweetness. Keep your schedule open or whatever. I'm probably going to be dropping you a note because I'd love to have you on Coffee with Lavender.
Yeah.
Jen, I'd love to have you on Coffee with Lavender.
I'll be sure to have my coffee.
How much do you pay?
Hey, you've got to be kidding me. I can't afford to support myself.
She pays with the knowledge that is in that noggin of hers.
Okay, who else have I not had on my show? Sergio, I've not had you on. Max, I've not had you on.
Correct.
Bubba, I haven't had you on.
Where did you go?
That's mostly because I'm not up early enough for your show.
Oh God, you sound like Kate. Oh man, I used to do the show at 10 a.m. and Kate messaged me more than once with, "You are doing this show at 7 a.m. my time." And I'm trying to wake up and be, and be normal and rational. Move the damn thing already. Okay. That's why it's at noon right now, and she still complains from time to time. It's like, what am I going to do? Have it at 7 p.m.? For you, Kate, just about anything. Oh, God.
I just want to make a quick announcement that I will be, hopefully next year, I'll be getting married.
Oh, congratulations.
No, I'm not. No, I'm not.
I don't know whether it's like congratulations or
No, I'm kidding. I played that trick joke so many times and so many people, and they're like, "Oh my God!" No, I'll probably never get married. No one likes me. I'll probably never get married.
Oh man, I know I won't be getting married anytime soon. It's,
I want to go to a lavender wedding.
Hey, nobody wants this lady. Okay, let's go through the list. Yeah. I love this list. My problem is that I'm old, fat, ugly, hyperintelligent, trans, pre-op, lesbian, and poor. Okay.
Poor. Okay, someone who truly loves you for who you are won't care if you are rich or not. So, and they won't care what size you are. So, hey, I'm plus size too. So,
you need a sapiosexual, someone real.
Yes, I do. Yes, I do.
Real sapio.
I have said so many times.
I share the same situation with Diana, except that I'm older and fatter and uglier.
Oh, please.
That's why I have the picture I do, because you don't want to look.
Oh my. I have said so many times, and the one cousin who I really don't approve of her lately, this is the one that runs the puppy mill, and I want to punch her. I want to punch her face, but she's always after, you have to lower your standards. You have to lower your standards. And I'm like, no.
I have lowered my standards, and it led me into necrophilia.
There you go. I mean, I'm the one, and I'm going to admit it.
I'm gonna say goodbye to everyone. I gotta go.
You take care, sweetness.
Bye. It was been very fun talking to all of you.
Yay! Oh my! Hi there!
Hi. Bye everyone. Bye everyone in the chat. Thank you.
Bye, sweetheart.
Okay. No. Wait a minute here. Christy, is that Stacy?
That is my daughter.
That is your daughter.
Izzy.
Hi, Christy's daughter. How are ya? Yeah.
And
Yay.
was too close to me, and I belonged to him.
You look like your sisters, for Christ's sake. Actually, you do. But the thing I tell people, and I know, I want to find somebody, a very nice, a loving person with a mental or intellectual capacity equal to or greater than my own. And that ain't easy.
Agree. And you deserve that.
Especially in this climate, in this political.
I mean, that's one of the reasons, and I mean, the entire internet knows already, so I don't mind saying anything. That's why I fell hard with that 93,000 ton crush on Kate. As
I know.
Mm-hmm.
I know. But she's very crushable, so I mean, it's your
yeah.
own damn fault.
And it's like, it's 18 years and 2,400 miles, and God damn it.
5,600 minutes. Sorry. Yeah, exactly.
Shitski. Well, actually, I've got my work ahead of me. I may have alluded to it earlier. A very, 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 did I mention, very dear friend of mine is dying. Liver failure. And I want to be there.
Yeah.
And she joked a little bit last time I saw her a couple of Sundays ago. It's like, okay, are we going to make a suicide pact? Sometimes I wonder if that isn't what we ought to do. She's dying, I'm dying. And maybe two people who are going through the same sort of thing together might be, I'm hoping anyway, might be the kind of people who can help each other along. The only thing is this. With me, it's no big deal. In a month, I will be, 6 weeks, I'll be 62. So more life behind me than ahead of me.
Right.
So, what's the big deal about dying? Not so Cassia. She's 35. And you're 35 years old and you are informed. You've got 5 years, kiddo. And yeah, it's going to hit you hard. So I just hope I can be of a little bit of help, something, anything.
I don't see how it could do anything but help. I don't see how there could be anything bad about doing that. Yeah.
It's such a complicated issue people don't want to talk about. That people, and the fact that nobody's talking about these kinds of things, it makes it worse because then it becomes a whole stigmatized issue, and then no one gets to talk about it healthily or effectively, and we have to look at Europe to see how they're doing things.
Oh my! Speaking of Europe, let's if we can pull that topic into the after show about the religious types who are going on about the 17-year-old who was euthanized in the Netherlands when it did not happen.
Yep. They don't care. It fits their narrative so perfectly. God must have wrote it. Like, that's how good it was.
Wow.
Yeah, my one of my nemesis, guy by the name of Trent Horn, who's an armchair apologist with a place called Catholic Answers, and I got my start making response videos to those people. He's one of these who will take the I'm always right, whatever I have to do to make it right, even if it's totally off the wall. He was going on about that when the news hit. Now, the one thing I actually applaud him for is that when the news did come out that this girl was not euthanized, he actually admitted it, but still held to his everybody's got to keep living and suffering narrative. And I'd really like to punch his face in, but that's another story.
Mm-hmm.
What's the point of living if all you have to do is suffer? You know, that's not a life for anyone.
Yeah, and that's one of the things that started the cracks appearing in my, if you want to call it, faith. I am an ex-Catholic.
Congrats.
It's great to be an ex-Catholic, let me tell you. But a whole discussion about euthanasia, and if people know what CCD is, no, it's not a charge-coupled device in this case. It's Confraternity of Christian Doctrine. It's basically Sunday school for the older kids, and a discussion on euthanasia in that classroom is what really got me thinking. At the age of 11, 10, something like that. We can talk about that later. Bubba, you probably want to bring this to a close, don't you?
Yep,
it's 9. It's 21:06. Well, 21:06.
I jumped back in too late. Sorry about that, guys. My bestie called me. My bestie called me right in the middle of everything, and so I answered to make sure she was okay.
Wait a minute. That bestie?
No, not Rachel. My other bestie. Yeah, she's been keeping to herself. I talk to her occasionally, but she's been keeping to herself a lot.
She is a big sweetie.
My other bestie is Kate that I work with. She's probably, she's like my very, very like ride or die best friend. We dated for like a month, and then it was like not really. Yeah. We weren't really feeling it, but we were like really, really good friends. So
but I don't want to lose you. I just don't want to, do you.
Yeah. No, I'm the one that broke it off.
It happened.
But we just sat down and talked it out, and it was like it's because she's a Christian, and I was like, listen,
that person you were discussing with me at one point.
I was like, listen, it's not going to work because I like to make jokes about Jesus sex hand dolls. You know, like and that's not going to fly with you. It's not going to be okay.
Yeah.
So but it's funny though, because when we hang out, we're like an old married couple that like sleep in different sides of the house.
Hey, listen, Jesus shouldn't have made it so goddamn funny.
So you mean an old married couple?
Yeah, an old married couple.
I tell you, it's. I don't necessarily miss being married, but I do miss being married, if you know what I mean.
No.
I've been married a couple of times, once officially, once unofficially.
Yeah, I'm always looking for a new Mrs. Bonanza.
The only thing is that now I'm not sure I would remember how to have a relationship anymore. I've been alone 10 years. And I guess you just kind of fall out of practice with dealing with another person on a full-time basis.
I think like I work with a lady who has it worked out perfectly. Like she's married, they're really happy. He lives in Jacksonville, she lives in Lake City. They see each other on the weekends.
Oh, sort of like, if you'll excuse the expression, Phil Donahue and Marlo Thomas.
Something along those lines, yep.
And where they lived on opposite sides of the country.
I miss being married about as much as I miss having kidney stones.
Stones. They're awful.
I had kidney stones with acute pancreatitis, and I dropped from 220 pounds to 178 pounds in 24 hours.
I've had
whoa! Time out.
And I would rather have another child come out me than have kidney stones again. That's how painful they were. They're bad.
You lost 40 pounds in a day.
Yeah, you could see the skin hanging off of me. Like my neck skin was hanging down. It was like I dropped from because I vomited so much, and then because of the pancreatitis, I couldn't drink anything. I couldn't eat anything. Like they put me on a IV. So by the time like I walked, they brought me in there. I was like, they're like, what do you weigh? I was like 215, 220 pounds. They're like, put me on the bed. It was one of those beds that weighs you. Like, no, you're 178 pounds. I had like, it was God. That's the worst thing ever. Like I would almost rather be set on fire. It was just, I thought I was going to die.
Yep. either. The
I
throwing
would
up
not
was awful, wasn't it? Like
I
you're
would
in
not-
so much pain, but you can't stop throwing up. It was, yeah, I feel you.
Yeah. And then like with the pancreatitis, like I would have, I would like belch. It was like almost like on a timer, like every minute and so many seconds. And the acid reflux would like go all the way to the back of my teeth. At one point, like I almost fainted. Like I almost passed out. Like I got tunnel vision down to the size of like as small as it could get, this blackness encroaching. And I was like, yeah, this is it. This is the big one. And at that point, the doctors finally came in and were like, here's some Vinergan, here's some Zofran, here's some this, here's some that. They hit me with like 6 drugs at once. And then they wanted to ask me questions. After that, they're like, Mr. Bonanza, Mr. Bonanza, about how tall are you? 5 foot.
I would not mind getting down to 180, but I don't want to do it that way.
No.
Okay?
No, that's the worst diet plan of all time.
Are you my doctor? Do you want a hug? Yeah.
Because I'll tell you, in a way, the worst thing I ever did to myself was quit smoking. Because last August, when I quit, 30 pounds
Gained all that
right
weight.
there.
Yep.
Because I used to ride at 205. Now I'm up at 235, closer to 240. And it's really not fun when it's very, very difficult to bend over and tie your own fucking shoes.
Well, Diana, wait till you have surgery.
I don't know if they'll
like
let
me.
me. I don't know if they'll let me have surgery.
After my confirmation surgery, I gained almost 100 pounds within about 6-7 months. And I was working out at the time.
Yeah, she's Maria Joseph, but that's another story entirely.
That's all from hormone changes.
Yeah,
I dropped a bunch of weight because I quit working out. That's drag. I've dropped to 200 pounds from 220 because I quit lifting weights. Sucks.
Muscles. You lost your muscles.
I did, and I lost a bunch of my strength too, which sucks because like I used to be able to grab like a condensing unit like and just pick it up, put it on my shoulder, and carry it and put it in place, and I couldn't do that to save my friggin' life right now.
No.
I haven't been to the gym in something like 3 weeks, and I really need to start getting back. The only problem right now is I'm experiencing what I am afraid is fatigue. And I don't want that because that is listed as one of the symptoms to experience going stage 5.
Mhm.
The other one is fluid retention, which I suspect I'm starting. And it's like, look, I want to make it to September anyway before I die. All right.
Longer.
I want to get to Kentucky for the protest. I want to use the baseball tickets that I bought. But yeah, I mean that would be horrible to not get to see the Nationals this year. For fuck's sake.
I just saw Nadine say something about she was at a doctor's office and somebody was saying, you just got like, he has a plan, you just have to go with it. And I had a buddy once tell me, like, what was it he said? He was like, yeah, God has a plan for everybody. And I was like, yeah, he does, apparently. And his plan for some people is that they eat shit and die. You know what I mean? Like,
there you are. Now, wait a minute. Where did Nadine say this? I'm going to see.
it's on Twitter. That's like that great Eddie Izzard quote. That great Eddie Izzard quote where he says, "If God has a plan, it's very similar to someone not having a plan."
Right.
The one I really like is the one, and then meanwhile, Bubba's sitting there. Is like, I want to really end this, but there's George Carlin on prayer, and it's like, why are you doing this prayer stuff? What if it's in God's plan? What good is a divine plan if some asshole can come by with a $2 prayer book and fuck up your plan?
That and Carlin, the other Carlin one is, what was it? He said, people are funny. If you tell them there's an invisible man in the sky, they'll mostly believe you. But if you tell them paint is wet, they have to touch it just to be sure.
Yeah. And by the way, Brant, Trent Horn is a villain. And so are his cohorts. There's another guy by the name of Carlo Broussard, who I've responded to more than once. I actually have to finish the film. I called him on his call-in show, and I asked him the question I ask of so many people: how do you know that the words in that book are from your God and not from some human's head? And he could not answer it without circularity.
Yeah.
Well, and it's the same thing. How do you know that the conversations you think God's having with you in your mind are not just internal self-dialogue?
That too, or psychosis. That's another one. I mean, some of my roommates have been cuckoo. God talked to them on a daily basis. Okay, yeah. Let me shut up for a while and
Sergio, tell everyone where they can find you.
Say what?
Tell everyone where they can find you.
Well, I'm a hermit,
Facebook,
so you can't.
this is he's a virgin, by the way. Everyone, so take advantage of him.
Yes, please. I mean, I guess you can find me on Facebook. I'll try and be more active with the messenger. I'm just really bad at it. But yeah, you can look up my name, Sergio Bastian. So basically like Sebastian, but without the and so Sergio Bastian. And there you go. I should be on Facebook. It's like a greenish profile picture if you want to find me. There you go. I'll try and check my messages. I'll try and be good about that. But yeah, I'm not really active on the internet just because I hate people. So
you'll get there. It'll happen.
I hate people too. When I go grocery shopping, I put my earplugs in, even if I'm not listening to something.
Nothing will be all right.
Okay.
Please, I don't want to see pictures of your kids. Please don't tell me your private business. I have no idea who the hell you are. Don't talk to me. Don't bother me. I hate you. I freaking hate. Like, I'm the only I'm one of the few people I know that's like a humanist and a misanthrope at the same fucking time.
Right.
I love mankind. It's people I can't stand.
Yeah, I love people, and everybody should be human. They should have the same equal human rights. Just don't fucking talk to me in line.
Okay. Now I've looked and I've seen the Facebook thing for you, Sergio.
Oh,
is this YouTube channel also yours?
It is. It's just I don't really. I don't put anything up there. I have like 2 videos from like high school or something.
Okay, guys in the audience, let's force the issue here, because if you all remember Shannon Q, who had 1,000 subscribers before she put out her first video.
But she's a major babe.
That is true. She is very, very good looking.
She's brilliant. She's
brilliant, I'll tell you.
She's funny. And homegirl just can sing. She can sing like I'm not even like as your cousin that does karaoke that's really good and everybody's like, wow, she's amazing at karaoke. No. She can sing like the people that go to karaoke sing songs of. Like she is. Did anybody know that? I didn't until I heard her, and I'm like, wait, you can sing?
Yeah, she told me. I remember her telling me at least one time that she had sang on like some hip hop albums, sing backup vocals and stuff.
Really?
Yeah.
Now, what would be really fun is to hear Shannon and Scientist Mel do some duets.
I'm down.
Because let me tell you guys, Scientist Mel has one hell of a voice.
I would throw a couple $2 at that for sure.
Oh, yeah. Hell yeah! Something else that Shannon has pulled off. Something else Shannon did is she threw the biggest, baddest beatdown, smackdown I've ever seen on Joshua, the Vagina Dryer Brister.
Word.
That's a mouthful of a name.
That's just not. Well, I would. People that talk to me all the time know that when I say the Vagina Dryer, that I'm talking about Joshua Brister. But
Sergio, I will send you Shannon Q tonight. He doesn't know who most of these people are. I just want to give just a little quick public announcement.
Yeah, you got to find out about these.
Super new to all of this.
I am an atheist virgin.
Both pastors, and he's an atheist. New atheist, and he lives in my apartment complex, and I just adore him. So. Welcome, Sergio.
Wait. You and Sergio live in the same complex.
Yeah, this is. I owe Christy so much to my mental health right now, honestly.
That's awesome. It's so awesome.
And
so, I will send you who we're talking about right now. Her name is Shannon Q. I sent you that thing, Paula Gia. Paula Gia is actually her boyfriend, but they
It's amazing the way she lucked out. God damn it.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, she lucked out.
That's a two-way street.
She's really fucking smart, and that's
Actually,
He's really handsome too.
he
I
is.
think he's adorable.
I think Paul is a really handsome fella.
He comes on movie night from time to time, and he's really great. There was a thread in Twitter not too long ago where we were talking about dick pics, and Shannon mentioned that she would rather that someone not send her the dick pics, but rather the dissertation about their dick.
Right.
And that
I mean,
I
you
immediately
got to
got
get in
on
here
there.
because you're not getting in here unless you get in here.
And I immediately got on, oh, is that what Paul did? Entire thread.
I promise you, he has no problem with that. I mean,
That's funny. Yeah, I used to get a bunch of dick pics too when I was in the choir.
What?
I would get, and I always wanted to I didn't want to hurt the little guys' feelings because I loved all my little tenors. I did. I loved them. But, and I didn't want to hurt their feelings, but I kind of wanted to be like, I wanted to respond and say, I wasn't interested, but then I saw your penis. And now I'm in love and I totally want to suck it. You know what I mean? Like,
it changed everything.
it just changed my mind. That purple mushroom headed bastard just it's straight into my heart.
Right. No.
You're just knocking on my heart with your dick.
There are times I wish I could be more bi, but then it comes to my mind that, okay, were I bi, I would have twice the chance of getting turned down.
Yeah, that's two ways to look at that because I look at it as twice the chance of getting lucky.
But then there's the other thing, and maybe we can go into this later, is I don't like the way most guys smell. It's a pheromone thing, I think.
I don't know.
Maybe you're a lesbian.
Yeah.
Maybe so.
I just think penises are grotesquely ugly.
I like. I just have too high of a friggin' standard. I like my men like I like my doctors. Doctors.
Okay.
I feel like to wear one sometimes, though.
I really got floored.
I'm not sure what I like my men like I like my doctors means, but
Yeah.
I think we can get into that in the after part.
What I mean is, I like them to be doctors.
Thank you. You totally could have waited for that. For the after party, which, once again, linked in the side chat. I'm going to go ahead and end this here because
everybody in the side chat, get over to the after party. God damn it.
Yes.
My computer is kind of like a dumpster fire, and I actually do think I need to restart it before I start the live chat.
I'm the only person in this damn after party. I'm waiting. Get over there. Okay.
Yeah. See you all over in the after party, everybody.
Where is the link?
Yay!